Hello there, this is Matt, aka Rambarat for Life, and welcome to another episode of the IMDB Files, where I, as well as I am joined by my good friend Mike, OCP Communications. We can say hello.
Hey there! And as you can see by the quality of this video, which hopefully will show up on this channel, I'm using a new software and basically recording the footage and recording some nice audio, and hopefully it'll show up for you guys.
Yeah, so I thank Mike for that and for his help on that. And
Anytime.
this time we're looking into 1985, so we're the lowest rated films of that year. Pretty much going past because we don't want to look forward.
No.
But starting off is a film called Real Horror, REEL, as in a film reel.
Yeah.
Because the plot is about evil spirits from an old movie from the cans that terrorize the neighborhood. That's so good. It gets a 1.6.
The idea might be kind of fun if it was executed well, or if it wasn't so bad it made you want to execute yourself, because that's what it seems like this film is. It's a 1.6. That's really bad.
By Ross Hagen, who sounds like a guy from the Dukes of Hazzard, like brother of Boss.
That name sounds familiar to me, Ross Hagen.
It's an 84-minute movie. 1.6 says someone named Alexandra, doesn't even have a last name or a first name, just Alexandra, one word.
Oh yeah, it's the guy. It's Supercock. It's the guy who was in a movie called Supercock. That's why. Really, it's a movie called Supercock, and he was in it in the 70s.
Well, there you go. Next up is a couple of not really films. There's not even a plot, so I can't say much for it.
But E-meter, read the drill, the tone scale drill. Fuck beats me.
But the next one is Final Justice, which I've never seen, but it's from the director of Without Warning, the Predator Before Predator, Graydon Clark, starring Joe Don Baker, which I think was a Mystery Science Theater 3000 flick.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, it was on Mystery Science Theater 3000, and Joe Don Baker was also on another episode called Mitchell. I remember that one. It's like, Mitchell.
This is a film I've heard a lot of bad things about. I can't say I've ever seen it, but it's a 2.0 out of 10 IMDb. Some sheriff. I remember one VHS cover, something that was piss yellow.
Yeah, this one right here.
Yellow.
This one right here. The poster was piss yellow. I remember that too. I had the VHS, and it was like, yeah, that's a great way to advertise your movie. It's an action film, and your action hero is in a piss yellow background.
Starring Joe Don Butter.
Joe Don Baker is looking for trouble. Yeah, because he just pissed all over everybody.
Starring Joe Don Bacon. It gets a 2.0 out of 10. Never seen it, but 2,730 votes compared to you have like 90 votes or 70 votes or 200 votes. But this guy over 2,000 because of MST3K.
And apparently it's about a homicidal sheriff named Thomas Jefferson. No relation to the other Thomas Jefferson.
Geronimo.
Oh, Geronimo, motherfucker! Is tasked with escorting a mobster to Malta. When the prisoner escapes, Geronimo goes rogue to catch him.
Can't say much about it.
No, I haven't seen it either, but yeah, I do remember the piss yellow background though. As they changed it for the DVD, they made it blue instead. Even they knew the mistake that they made.
But the next one is SkyHigh. It's a 2.0, which is about a group of American students traveling to Greece that find themselves involved with a new type of drug, and the gang that wants it. Nico Masterakis.
Oh, Nico. Good old Nico. Nico from Omega Entertainment.
Yeah, that's definitely a director that sounds familiar from making a lot of really crappy films.
Yeah.
Like The Zero Boys or...
Well, I heard that's one of his better films, but, it's not saying much.
Which still sucks. But I mean, Island of Death, Ninja Academy, Hired to Kill,
Glitch.
.com for Murder.
Oh god, .com for Murder. Holy fuck, that movie was bad. Something called The Wind with Meg Foster.
Which I think you have.
Yeah, I have
Do
it
you
on
have
VHS. I haven't seen it yet, though. And the tagline for this movie is, "Saving the world has never been so much fun."
This film would be remade later, starring Kurt Russell. So,
Yeah, by Disney.
but next up, Appointment with Fear, which is so good it doesn't have a plot line, just a cover with a knife or
I
whatever.
have this on VHS. I've heard really bad things about this movie. There's like some tree that's like killing people or something. I don't remember correctly. Somebody was telling me kind of something to do with some tree.
So the tree has a knife. There's a knife on the poster. Maybe the tree has a knife and is stalking people with a knife.
To me, it looks like the knife.
Tree from
The
Poltergeist.
knife is scared. The knife has a screaming face on it.
The cover says "From the man who brought you Halloween." Oh, because Mustafa Akkad presented
Mustafa
it.
Akkad produced
But
it.
that's pretty misleading. "From the man who brought you Halloween," because you're like, no, John Carpenter had nothing to do with this.
No, he didn't. Trapped in a world where death is not the end.
Wouldn't that be a good thing?
Yeah, that probably would be.
Wouldn't that be a good thing?
Actually, yeah, it's like where death is not the end. Okay, so I'm not gonna die. All right.
They're immortal. So, yeah, that's not really a threat.
And
It's
then
a
Alan
promise.
Smithy directed this.
Also known as Ramsey Thomas as his real name.
Yeah.
But so bad he took his name off.
And this is a guy who was a production manager for Stargate, Boiling Point, and Halloween 5. He helped produce it.
And a unit production manager on Stargate.
Yeah.
So he went far.
He never directed again after this movie, though. So.
But the next one is a film that Eli Roth stole the title for. Called Knock Knock. Which gets a 2.5. Directed by Bruce McDonald, which sounds like someone from Kids in the Hall.
Yeah, it does.
It's not, but...
Oh, he's Canadian, so is the Kids in the Hall. So.
And it's only an hour long, apparently.
Hour and 2 minutes. So. Yeah.
And really enough, someone on the cast is named Adam Edelyan.
Yeah, and that guy sounds familiar.
That's one of those arty directors.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Did like The Sweet Hereafter and
Exotica.
He did that 84 film called Next of Kin.
Oh.
The one that's not Patrick Swayze.
Oh, that one that I've been kind of curious about but haven't seen. Yeah, that one. He also directed an episode of the 80s Twilight Zone. One of the syndicated ones, it looks like it. He also directed an episode of Friday the 13th, the series, Cupid's Quiver.
But after that, you have Wizards of the Lost Kingdom, some very low-budget fantasy film with Bo Svensson. When evil streams throughout the world, when all the galaxies converge, when all that's fair and fine seems lost, a hero will emerge.
Ed Naha wrote the screenplay.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he helped with. He wrote the novelization for RoboCop, and he helped write Honey Shrunk the Kids and Dolls, as well as Troll and Chud 2. But hey, Honey Shrunk the Kids and Dolls. But he also wrote Omega Doom. So.
And there's a cover that's more expensive than the movie.
Yeah, I like that cover. It's pretty cool. Oh my, that's a Sketsky. That's a Sketsky from Dark Crystal. That's
on the top.
They're on the top right here. You know, I got my mouse over it. That is one of those vulture things from the Dark Crystal.
On the right, it looks like the villain from It's not, but it looks like the
Gore.
guy from Time Bandits.
Oh, or he kind of reminded me of that guy from Gore. And in the middle, on the top, it looks like Luke Skywalker. Skywalker on top of some dragon, lion, flying
The
bird, eagle thing. I don't.
brother of Falcor.
That is totally a Sketsky. I don't think I said the name correctly, but oh my god, that's not even. What are they use stock footage from the Dark Crystal?
Now that I look at it, this is actually a movie I saw when I was a kid, and I don't remember a thing about it, but I know I've seen this once. Now that I see
I think
pictures,
there's a sequel, I think, as well. On the
there
far
might
edge
be.
of fantasy, the ultimate conflict is drawing near. Wizards of the Lost Kingdom. What conflict? Whether or not you're going to watch the movie?
It's a planet for the Ewoks planet. It's a war for that planet. It's a
Oh,
prequel to
God.
Battle.
The next one, a prequel to Battle
Let-
for Endor. The next one is Biohazard, which I have seen, and this is a really shitty film. A 2.8 is way too high for this, if you ask me.
Well, you've seen it, so you can tell a little bit about it.
Yeah, alien monster used a psychic to try to take over Earth, I guess. I guess that's the plot. It's directed by Fred Olen Ray. Good old Fred Olen Ray again. He had his son play the monster in this, which is a cheesy, corny ripoff of Alien. Right here, you can see it right there. This makes it look better than it is, and it did have a Blu-ray. Why? I have no fucking idea. Sense it, feel it, fear it, be very afraid. What do you think you are, the Fly? And this looks like a dick that's just breaking right out of the ground, or some kind of square, or like Pink Floyd cover art or something. A dick with teeth. Just be very afraid of the cock gobbler. But anyway, this movie definitely is a cock gobbler because it gobbles your cock because it's so fucking shitty. I remember this just pissed me off because it doesn't even end. It just, there's like, it seems like it's building up to an ending, and then somebody flubs their lines, and then the last 10-15 minutes is just blooper reels with an annoying song over the end credits. That's all it is. This is an hour and 24 minutes, and 10 to 15 minutes of that is just a fucking blooper reel with this cast and crew just dicking around, fucking around. Yeah. There's some big-breasted porno star chick, I think Angelique Pettyjohn, whose tits are so huge they're unnatural and just aren't sexy to me because it just looks like watermelons, and it's not my thing. I don't want, tits that are so big that they're going to crush my head. But, hey, that's just my personal preference. And I do remember this kind of scene, though, where the creature finds an E.T. poster and he rips it up. And because of my recent experiences with that movie and the fans of that movie, you know what? That is kind of a crowd-pleasing scene for me nowadays. But doesn't mean this is a good movie, because it isn't.
No, I mean, it's directed by Fred Olen Ray and gets a 2.8, and I've seen Mike's review. I don't need to see the movie.
The monster is played by his 5-year-old son. And child
Well,
abuse.
that's slave labor.
That's child abuse.
Well, Fred Olen Ray is into slave labor. But the next up is A Certain Sacrifice, which I guess maybe Madonna sacrificed something to get a career after this.
Oh, I've seen Todd in the Shadows review of this. This looks like this looks awful. Like, what kind of movie is this? It's like barely even a movie. It's like an hour.
It was a student film, and it became something else. A streetwise teen gets herself in a series of circumstances and mishaps in her meaningless existence. And when Madonna went famous, she tried to get the film banned, but the director said no, because you signed a release and got paid $100.
What the fuck is this cover art? Just look at this closely, though. At first, you're like, okay, this guy's caressing Madonna's head, all right. But if you look at it more closely, it looks like they did some vintage shitty Photoshop here, and like had some picture of Madonna and then like colored in her hair and like eyebrows with like a Sharpie, and then like cut off her rest of her body. Like, what the fuck is this? It is so bad. It's just jagged edges everywhere, and so is she dead? Is he fucking? Is gonna fuck her head? This gives a whole new meaning to the term "giving some head." Really does.
Well, it's a sequel to The Brain That Wouldn't Die.
On the dark side of New York, when paths cross, somebody severs Madonna's head and then wants to fuck it. I don't know what the fuck is going on here.
To the darkest side of the night.
Because the darkest side of the night is
going up your ass. Madonna put this up her cooch and then it got swept away. But she's doing okay.
Side.
But Next Up is a film that didn't even have a first movie, much like Surf 2. You have Starworms 2.
I never even heard of this. It's like Surf 2, the infamous Surf 2.
Which I've never seen that either. But a film that they, for some reason, say it's a sequel to make it more popular than it was. Like, hey, it must be successful because there's a sequel. But which I never understood that, but they still... I wish they do that nowadays, like just have a sequel come out to a movie that never happened. Or even if it was based on something, like GoBots 2.
The Return of the Rock Lords.
But this is Attack of the Pleasure Pods, and that title pretty much tells you this is probably
a
porno with someone named Jessup.
The cover's actually not that bad. The cover art is like way better than any porno you will ever see.
Oh yeah, I mean that's another thing that's sad about back then compared to nowadays is that even a movie like Starworms 2 can have really nice artwork. And yet good movies today will have like the laziest artwork.
Just really awful Photoshop. And even re-releases like get really bad. Like some of these new kids movies, just like a super zoom in up close shot of one of the characters behind a bland background and the title. Put some fucking effort into it. But they had to back then, for people to rent it. Trick people into renting the movie.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean at least they
tried.
At least something's good.
Yeah.
It's not the movie, it's the cover, but it's something.
Yeah. Next film is called Igor and the Lunatics. I've heard about it. I know Troma ended up releasing it on DVD.
Well, of course. The 2.8, after 16 years in prison, Igor and his gang are out and bent on taking revenge on the town that sent them up.
I think they meant to say set them up, but...
I know, but I'm just reading what they say. That sent them up. Yeah. Sent them up the river.
Sent them to a van down by the river. Oh, man. It's a horror movie about a Charles Manson-like cult leader and his deranged, sex-mad, murderous followers who were captured and sent to prison, only to make probation after 16 years later and launch a bloody revenge. Against who? I don't know. They're just launching a bloody revenge. Igor and his flock set out to smite the townspeople who sent them up. Again, but sent them up. Hey, or nas. Get a dictionary. The former members who were betrayed them by the law, to the law, and just about anyone else who gets in their way. And the tagline is still crazy after all these years. Yeah, use a Paul Simon song for your tagline. That's a good one right there. Sure is. For a horror film.
Even the cover is the laziest thing ever. It's just
the title, Igor and the Lunatics.
In red.
That's it.
And the next one I'll skip.
The other one, though, is crazy, though. The other cover is like, there's more effort to it. It's like some Miles O'Keefe guy with like long metal hair, and like brass knuckles with spikes on them, and a giant crossbow. And I'm like, what movie is this? There's like a saw blade that's sawing through the poster. I'm like, none of this is probably in this movie. at all.
Does Igor have a crossbow?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And then it's like recorded in trauma sound, filmed in terror vision.
What, they stole footage from Terror Vision?
Maybe.
But
I just had to
Igor,
show that
yeah.
cover because it was just one of those just like, what the fuck is this, a heavy metal album?
By Wimpy Jackass Parolini. But the next one, I'm not going to say much other than Adam West, for some reason, is in it.
In Young Lady Chatterley 2, the lady that needs no introduction is
A
back.
drama that looks like one of those sex novels that old women read.
All it's missing is Fabio. Oh, we couldn't get Fabio, so you have to settle for Adam West.
That's a long...
Long way down.
It's a long list to go. From Fabio to Adam West.
The next film is some movie called The Border of Tong.
With David Heavener, who I don't think has made a single good movie.
Deadly
I don't know if he's ever made
man
a movie.
himself.
Dark alleys and winding streets of Chinatown, forbidden places for newcomers. But for years, the residents sought refuge in local gambling parlors run by the Tons. If I want to see the Tons, I'll watch Big Trouble in Little China.
Exactly.
And I'm not reading the rest of that. It's David Heavener. It's a 3.0.
It was on DVD with another film, and it was also known as Massacre here. Another badly photoshopped job here. They chopped off some cop's head and put David Heavener's head on it, and they did such a bad job that his head is too big for his body, and he has no fucking neck. His neck is missing. It doesn't exist. It's off the map. And it was like, there's only one thing deadlier than the Chinese mafia. An angry cop. Massacre. Based on a true story. Yeah, fucking
Rated
right. I don't think it's based on a true story. Bunch of bullshit. The only true story is that the movie sucks. Another one I've heard about is called Evils of the Night. Some low-budget alien abduction movie, I think.
600 teens are kidnapped by auto mechanics, but they take them to a rural hospital run by aliens who need their blood as a key to their own longevity.
And one of those films that has good cover art, cool poster, probably really shitty.
Neville Brand, who was in the Tobe Hooper film Eaten Alive. Aldo Ray, who was in Biohazard.
Oh, great. John Carradine is also in it.
Who was in 2000 movies, whatever. I mean, Evils of the Night. A woman looks like she got big tits.
Yeah.
And
just like zombies grabbing her, trying to grab her tits. And there's something that's sucking their blood out. And that's a Millennium Falcon. Oh my god, I just noticed that on this poster. It's the fucking Millennium Falcon. How the fuck did they get away with that? Now, it isn't exactly, but because there's two things on the end instead of one, but the front of it and the whole middle part of this spaceship, you're seeing exactly what I'm looking at, folks. That's the Millennium Falcon.
Alien vampires have just landed from outer space in search of the one substance they need to survive.
And they stole Han Solo's spaceship. They stole the Millennium Falcon. That's what happened to it after, for all those years. That's who stole the Millennium Falcon. It was these stupid aliens. It was 6 crazy aliens, and then they got stopped, and then they had to drop the Falcon off at some junkyard planet, and then we have The Force Awakens. So, that's what happened to the Millennium Falcon.
Now the Falcon had sex with the titty thing from Battle Beyond the Stars. That was their
the titty
love
ship.
child.
The titty spaceship. That's the love child of the Falcon and the Titty Ship. Oh, man.
But anyway, I'm not going to talk about the Mata Hari. It's just some drama thriller.
I know. Well, Curtis Harrington directed it. There's Sylvia Crystal was in it. I remember there was on the Canon documentary they talked about this. Like it was the lead girl was like notoriously difficult to work with or something. So
I completely forgot about there was canon.
Yeah.
But you have like the Oracle, which is a 3.1. A victim's spirit reaches out from beyond the grave in an attempt to possess the body of a young woman who has moved into his old apartment. And really bad Photoshop.
Yeah, I always remember the cover art. It's just bad.
Do you have this movie on
I have it on
VHS?
VHS somewhere. It's not really Photoshop. It's just bad artwork because of just the way things are set up. I mean, the art for the lady here, the way things are structured. The skull is not scary. It looks like some Halloween skull you'd see on a Home Improvement Halloween episode. It's not scary at all. And the lady, she doesn't look scared to me. It looks like somebody like fingered her by surprise, and then she's all like, "Oh my god, ah!" And it's probably that hand, that giant hand. Oh, that's why, because it's grabbing her tits, and then it's writing with the feather pen, and then that's why. That's what's going on here. Jennifer was desired and then seduced. Now the horror begins. The Oracle, a power that's ancient.
Was those dreaded by the girl who did Blood Sisters?
Oh,
which is
that movie. You've seen that.
Only because Joe Bob Birds did a commentary on the DVD. Other than that, there's no reason to see it. I swear it's not in the credits, but I swear she was one of the people involved with that Snuff movie, but I could be wrong.
Well, I mean, there's another cover art that's just even worse. All it is just like some piece of parchment paper, and then it says the Oracle, aka the horse's mouth, and then like some title, it shows you who starred in it. A film by C.M. Pennington Richards, and that's it. Like, what is this? A cover for a play? Like, what is this lazy shit? That probably didn't show up on a DVD. The DVD reuses the kind of silly looking cover art.
Really?
Yeah.
But after that, from the director of Gunman and
sadly.
Death Warrant.
I don't know what happened.
It was his first film.
Yeah.
He would want to do better. He did Death Warrant, Back in the USSR, Gunman, and Terminal Velocity. But his first film, Darren Serafian, was this film called Alien Predator with Dennis Christopher.
Yeah, but on the VHS it says Alien Predators. I always remember that. Like, it's listed as Alien Predator on IMDb, but on the VHS it says Alien Predators. It clearly says an embryo of new terror, Alien Predators. There is no place to hide. So which one is it? Is it Alien Predator or is it Alien Predators?
Probably Alien Predators.
I can see why they called it Alien Predator, though, because they're trying to get people to trick people to rent it and check it out. Because, oh, Alien and Predator. Alien versus Predator. It has an alien and a predator in it. But it came out before Predator, so that's weird.
Yeah, that's what, yeah. Just say we have Alien with something. Why not? Hey, Predator sounds good. But yeah, Dennis Christopher from Fade to Black is in it. Three young friends on vacation in Spain.
Oh, that's why, because it came out on home video in 87. It was finished in 84, but it didn't come out, and it's listed as 85, but it didn't come out in the U.S. until 1987. So that's why they called it Alien Predator. Predator just come out. And they're like, well, that movie's really popular. Here we go, Alien Predator. Or Predators. We need more than one Predator.
Apparently it's about three guys in Spain and animals are being tested at Skylab, and NASA says there's a dangerous alien organisms from the Apollo 14 moon mission, and organisms fell to Earth with Skylab. Sounds like something from the Flash. Skylab. These three friends of NASA scientists must get an antidote from a NASA lab nearby and save themselves and the rest of the world. It was on YouTube, and I know there's a depressing end. Dennis Christopher is like infected, and he's driving. They drive away, and the movie ends. I just skipped to the end, saw that. Like, I don't need to see the rest of it.
Oh, so it's a depressing ending.
I'm fine with it.
I'm just rereading the storyline real quick because there's some technical difficulties for a second there. Three young friends are on vacation in Spain, and so weird things begin to occur, blah, blah, blah. Then a man from NASA tells them what's really going on, dangerous alien organisms, and it's like capitalized for some reason in this description. Like, do they call them DAOs? From Apollo 14 moon mission, which was tested on animals on Skylab. Was there even an Apollo 14 moon mission? Didn't they not go back to the moon after... No, they went back to the moon after Apollo 13, I think. Yeah, they did. Which was tested on animals on Skylab. That was an actual real lab in space. Skylab, I think. I could be wrong, though. That's Space Lab, probably. I don't know why they call it Skylab. But then the organisms fell to Earth with the Skylab. So it's kind of like when the space station, pieces of it crashed to Earth around like the late 70s. And I remember there was a funny skit by John Belushi where he was talking about what would happen, if the pieces of the Skylab or whatever fell to Earth. And there's one of his famous rants. And then there's giant pieces of Skylab falling out of the sky. But no! So this infection is happening, killing people. 3 friends and a NASA scientist must get an antidote from a NASA lab nearby and save themselves and the rest of the world. And Dennis Christopher from Fade to Black is in it, and a few other people, like Lynn Holly Johnson. And it's based on the original screenplay by Duran Serafian, Noah Block. And the original title was Massacre at RV Park. So, they couldn't sell the film under Massacre at RV Park, so we better change that. So I haven't seen it. I know I have it on VHS in storage somewhere. So the next film I never heard of, but I've always kind of stayed away from it because it's like bad reviews, and I guess it's about some really bad comic who looks like he's Carrot Top's dad because we're on killing people. The Comic. An adult nightmare.
In a future police day, a stand-up comic murders a competitor for a job and gets mixed up with a stripper.
Well, on the cover, it doesn't look like the girl is a stripper. She's covering up her breasts with a blanket. But maybe she's really prudish when she's, in bed with somebody. Otherwise, it's, don't look at my tits. Everyone sees them. I don't want you to see them. Boy, wouldn't that be awkward? She's a stripper, but she doesn't want to strip for you. It's directed by Richard Driscoll, stars Stephen Rowe. I don't know what to say about it. It's a future. Why does it take place in the future? The comic was originally financed by Welsh miners and doctors. Also, due to funding running out, filmmaker John Eries funded the film and then distributed it on his UK video release. And the tagline is, "Sometimes getting a laugh is murder." Who has the last laugh now? I do, because nobody has watched this movie or seen it. Or people who have, they don't speak fondly of it. So, yeah. The next
maybe it's a sequel to The King of Comedy.
The next one is 9 Deaths of the Ninja. Now, I remember the cover art for this. One of the VHS cover arts for this is just this emaciated ninja. Here it is, that needs to go eat some cheeseburgers, needs to steal some of the food from Steven Seagal because his ribs are showing.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I think I said that in my VHS. Yeah, my VHS cover art videos from long ago. Yeah, starring Sho Kasudi and 9 Deaths of the Ninja. 9 Reasons Not to See This Movie.
He's holding his sword really weirdly on the DVD cover. It's like it's photoshopped in there. Like, who holds their sword like this? Or is
He
it
means
sword?
lightsaber.
It's lightsaber. Yeah. And
This
then
is lightsaber.
and he's on fire, or there are people on fire behind him, and it looks like somebody is like 69ing somebody in the background or some shit. Weird.
Dirty Sanchez. And there's someone holding, I think, trying to hold a cross or something.
Or crossbow, or I don't know what's going on back there. All I know is they're either in hell, or he's in hell, or... Yeah. I saw this a long time ago. It was really shitty. That's all I remember.
It's that memorable. But yeah, the next one, the Blue Man Group, made a movie, and it gets a 3.3.
Well, it's under the title Eternal Evil. That's how I remember it as.
But the Blue Man Group, it's directed by George Mahalka, who I believe did My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he did. And was that... Yeah, that was... Okay, this was after, so he didn't get any work.
That sucks.
Co-starring Karen Black.
Poster's cool. I'll give it that. It's a pretty cool looking poster. Hey, I think I know where Mill Creek Entertainment got their Strange Things boy for their Strange Things collection from this poster. They didn't even create new artwork for their posters. They stole one from Eternal Evil.
But it's about a director of TV commercials who's taught to astrally project himself by a woman. He soon finds he does it against his will when he sleeps. And there's more to the plot, but I couldn't read it.
There are enough nasty thrills here to make Eternal Evil a crisp entry in the cinema of cruelty by John Bowden from the Toronto Star. So
was that a positive review?
Maybe? I don't know.
It was a review, but it might have been positive.
It was definitely a review, but I don't know. It's a public domain film now, so... This movie's so bad that IMDb even has posters that aren't even the right movie in here. For some movie called The Alien Conspiracy, Beyond the Lost World, with Debbie Rochon.
Well, apparently bad. I mean, we never know. I mean, there's movies that get low ratings that we both like.
Oh, yeah, like Slaughterhouse Rock, but yeah.
But apparently it's so bad, it's... Whatever the title is.
Eternal Evil is a better title than The Blue Man. That's for sure. Next one is Ninja Assassins. It looks like one of those movies that, what's his name? The guy who's in a lot of those cheap ninja movies, like Gregory Harrison would be in.
Oh, that the Cinema Snob would talk about. I forgot what the hell that guy was called.
Gregory Harrison, I think. I think that's who it is.
It was something like that. No, it was an Asian name, and I forgot what the hell it was called.
Well, Gregory Harrison was the guy who was in it a lot. That's the star. The Asian guy, Godfrey Ho.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So, Laf, where's Del Ninja? Because the DVD isn't in English. Well, I guess maybe it has an English track, but I doubt it. Not like that makes any difference. These ninjas look bored. On this cover, they look bored as fuck. Especially the one on the right.
I believe it.
I don't blame.
But the next one is the Werewolf Bitch.
Sturba, Werewolf Bitch.
A.K.A. Howling 2, your sister is a werewolf and got killed by Red Browns.
I actually I have fun with this.
So did I. I reviewed it. Mike has a review on his channel. I have a review on my channel. It was fun. Christopher Lee was fun. Red Brown was fun, yelling, being banshee, like in every movie. And he shoots werewolves in the face. You got tits. You got this. Whatever the hell the lyrics are.
By the moonlight or something. The howling. Howling! Howling! The song is fine if you listen to it once, but then they just overplay it to death in the movie. and
About 7
then it
times.
gets tiring. But Sybil Danning is hot in her skin tight outfits. It has a werewolf orgy in it. You got Christopher Lee, and Red Brown, who's pictured here with a shotgun.
Yelling.
No, he's not yelling here, but I wish.
Well, inside he's yelling.
Yeah.
And then soon outside he'll be yelling.
It's one of those movies you don't take too seriously, and you can have some fun with it. I actually liked it more than the first film, a little bit more than the first one.
Red Brown's yelling, Sybil Danning's tits, Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
Werewolves being shot in the face.
The rocking, shocking new wave of horror. The howling! 2, your sister is a werewolf.
But
Disturb a werewolf, bitch.
But at 3.4, I would put it higher. I
don't think it's as bad as
fun.
Don't Mess With My Sister.
Which was directed by the guy who did I Spit on Your Grave, Mir Zarki, and Lust, Passion, Greed, Revenge, a story with something for everyone. About a meat accountant in training who's living with his wife and working for her brothers, managing the butch at their junkyard. Shit happens, a car explodes, I guess, and the guy has a shotgun.
Yeah.
And I guess he's incest because the sister wants to get in his pants.
Yeah, because that's what it looks like. This is a weird title. It's a weird combination. You know, if that's supposed to be the sister, she's, hugging him like he's Luke Skywalker. Hey, maybe that's what it is. Because, in the Star Wars poster, it wasn't revealed yet that Leia was never intended to be Luke's sister from the beginning anyway. I don't care what George Lucas says.
I mean, it was filmed, but it wasn't technically released until, 88.
I mean, even the title is just demonstrative. It's just like, hey, don't mess with my sister.
Don't mess with my shitter. That's the sequel to that. Don't mess with my shitter.
You better not mess with this shitter, man.
That's the sequel to Christine.
Shitters.
Don't mess with my shitter. That's a guy's nickname for Christine.
That's the prequel to Christine. That's the one about the old guy. The next film is a movie called Heated. The next film is Heated Vengeance.
Richard Hatch, who's been in a lot of very, very low budget movies. It's a 3.4. It's so good. There's no plot.
Galactica?
Yeah, that too. He was the lead in Battlestar Galactica. He was sort of the Luke to
Starbuck.
Dirk Benedict's Han Solo.
No, Starbuck was Dirk Benedict.
Yeah. Yeah, Richard Hatch was sort of the Luke of Battlestar Galactica.
It was written, produced, and directed by Edward Murphy. Eddie? Taking on a pseudonym name. Michael J. Pollard is in it. He's even on the poster here.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to Michael J. Pollard, now that I think about it.
Yeah. He was in a lot of bit roles in a lot of films in the 80s and 90s. He was in Split Second.
Yeah, Scrooge, Tango and Cash, I Come in Peace. And like you said, Split Second, he was popping up everywhere, and then he disappeared.
Lieutenant Hoffman thought the Vietnam War was over. He was wrong. So what, is he trying to be Rambo?
Same year as Rambo 2, so...
Sorry, Richard Hatch, you're not Rambo. Nice try. There's no synopsis either. I don't even know what it's about.
Well, next up is a picture of a man being raped called Rid.
I almost have said raped. just not even bothering to be subtle about it.
Rigged.
Rigged.
With two directors. Two directors said.
He thought it would be a simple business deal, but in Texas, simple can mean millions, sex, and murder. Okay. What does this cover have to do with anything? And where's the rig to come from? Stars George Kennedy, Ken Robertson, and Pamela Bryant. George Kennedy, man, come on. What are you doing in Rigged?
He's there for 5 minutes. Yeah, I don't got nothing.
A 3.5 out of 10. The next film is You're in the Movies. It's got a release in South Africa once.
Entertainment of a lifetime is the tagline.
See, so clever because it's instead of lifetime, it's laugh time. Don't you get it? Oh man.
Yeah.
That's all.
Maybe
we just have a poster.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was even released. I know there's like King Kong was really happy for some reason.
Next up is Linda Blair on the cover of a film called Savage Island.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen
which
it.
I know there's some controversy.
I know Savage Island is on some multi pack I have.
And you have Linda Blair with big tits and machine gun, but the truth was
she's pretty tall too in this, and she's not that tall.
Linda Blair did not want her fans to be deceived by what amounted to a cameo part by the actress. She told the LA Times she had stipulated in her contract that her name could not be above the movie title, nor in bigger print than anybody else's. The distributors, however, did feature Linda prominently in the ads and posters, dressed like a girl in high heels and aiming a whatever the hell that is, machine gun, bazooka, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Linda was clearly their drawing card for audiences. Additionally, the DVD release marketed Blair as the star of the film, billing her name above the title.
Uh-huh.
It's marketed as featuring the first appearance of Penn Jillette.
Oh, great.
Although Teller does not make an appearance. So it's on the DVD, but he's not in the movie. But I guess maybe he is as a security guard. I don't know. IMDb's telling two different stories.
It's directed by Ted Nicolau, who went on to direct Terror Vision after this. Excuse me. Just indigestion from all these shitty films. Subspecies.
That's my reaction. Terror Vision, indigestion.
I like Terror Vision. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't for me.
I thought it was better than Video Dead, Subspecies, Bad Channel.
That's too much.
No, it's not. Remotes, Dragon World, and Leapin' Leprechauns. Oh, and he also directed the first slick documentary on HBO of the Haunting remake. So he did that. And Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys.
Wow, that's such a great track record. A single good movie.
I like Dragon World, but I haven't seen that in years.
Actually, I haven't seen Dragon World. I don't even know what that is. I know Dragon Slayer, but I don't know what Dragon World
World's
is.
Like a kid's movie where this kid in Scotland or whatever finds a pet dragon or something. Yeah.
Sounds better than that movie.
So Savage Island, this is the basic gist of the plot. Women have been captured and sold as slave labor to a South American emerald mine, and they hatch a plan for revolution and revenge. So
in other words, the plot is tits and gun.
Yeah. It's one of those tits and guns movies. That other guy...
I'm laughing because the next one has a certain actor, Michael Pare.
Oh, he's just in so many shitty films.
Space Rage.
I have this on VHS. I remember when I got it, I was like, Michael Pare, but then I'm like, Richard Farnsworth is what? Richard Farnsworth?
No, Richard Farnsworth is the good guy. Michael Pare is the villain.
Well, the poster confused me. You can't blame me, because it doesn't look like Richard Farnsworth is the good guy in this.
Yeah.
And who would in their right mind? See, I can't even speak because I can't even believe it. I'm just like, hey, we got Michael Pare and we got Richard Farnsworth. Who's the good guy? Richard Farnsworth. What? They have the cocaine. In this other cover, Richard Farnsworth isn't even on here. It's some, like, super steroid-ridden guy who's balding. Like, he is losing his hair. I mean, it is bad. His hair is falling out. Maybe he's got taken too much radiation. Maybe that's how he's buff. It's the gamma rays. and they're killing him. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that guy's not in the movie probably. So.
What's funny is it's also known as $1 a day, which is the budget for the movie, I'm sure.
I think I bought it for $1, if I remember correctly.
One day, Mike will see some of those VHS movies.
I do like this line they quoted here, though, from Michael Pere's character. Richard Farnsworth plays a colonel, and there's some guy named Judge, and he tells Michael Pere, "You were banished from Earth forever." And Grange is like, "Fuck you." Directed by Conrad L. Palmisano, or Sano. In this sci-fi western film set 200 years from now, a bank robber, Grange, is captured and sentenced to the penal colony on the mining planet Proxima Centauri 3, where he meets bounty hunter Walker, Texas Ranger, and the Colonel, a retired policeman from LA who is considered the best of his kind. Grange is a dangerous lunatic. And
the best chittiness.
Best of his kind. ... And kicking ass. Grange is a dangerous lunatic, and Walker and the Colonel must team up to keep him from escaping. That sounds like a scintillating plot. Sounds very exciting.
But the next one were Mario Van Peebles and Eric LaSalle with their crazy plot, 3.6.
What the fuck?
An ex-con and break dancer help save a neighborhood from a developer while trying to win a rap contest.
Oh my God, it's canon again. They were trying to recapture the success of Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. Rapping with an N, an apostrophe. It's the street sensation that's sweeping the nation. It's a rap. There's a pretty bad looking MGM DVD cover art here. That's absolutely Photoshop. Wow.
But the next one is a film I've heard of, Transmutations, aka Underworld, which is a 3.7.
Clive Barker wrote the screenplay, I believe.
Denholm Elliott from, I believe, the Indiana Jones films. This is a film I've never seen. Again, I've heard of it many times before.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, but the cover art's not bad. I mean, the poster here, you got some decent practical effects. I don't know why he shrunk this lady and put her in a beaker, but okay. And it was like, anything can be created. Trying to cash in on John Carpenter's The Thing? Like, what's going on here?
If you've seen it, feel free to leave a comment, folks.
I guess when HighClass Hooker Nicole is kidnapped from her brothel. Oh, no. Ooh. Rich businessman Hugo Motherskill, kind of last name is that, hires her ex-love Roy Bain to find her. Investigating the disappearance, he eventually finds traces that lead to Dr. Savory, who's produced a strange white powder that's coveted by a race of deformed human beings who live in the underworld in the sewers below the city. So it's Chud?
He wishes.
Yeah, it'd probably be a better sequel than Chud 2. But the Chud. Next one is Cave Girl. Before Encino Man, there was Cave... Before Encino Man, there was Cave Girl. It was a part of the Too Cool for School collection that also included The Van with Danny DeVito.
This has something to do with a school?
I
On a class excursion to a cave with Stone Age paintings, clumsy Rex gets lost. A mysterious crystal opens a gateway in time and sets him back to the Stone Ages, where he meets a group of prehistoric fellows and the gorgeous Eba. While teaching her English and doing some research, his main goal is to get her sleeping with him. However, the curiosity of the clan chief disturbs his attempts.
Who the fuck is this guy? Leisure Suit Larry?
Not about getting back, it's can I fuck? We must fuck.
Rex is taking his first big trip back. 25,000 years. Cynthia Thompson is in it. She plays the cave girl. I haven't seen it. I remember seeing a trailer. It was years ago, though. But really, this is the plot line. Oh, you just think, I just want to bang her. I don't care. I gotta bang this cave chick. She's hot.
It seems like the only case.
That's all the plot is. Next film. That's sort of this one. Horror House on Highway 5 at 3.7.
Yeah, it's too high.
See it or die.
Yeah, die. A van full of college students traveling down a highway is terrorized by a guy in a Richard Nixon mask. It's dirt cheap. It's absolutely awful. There's a Nazi guy named Bart, which I couldn't get over.
Man.
And some do with V2 rockets, and people getting killed by a guy in a mask, and a girl getting killed by glass, and an ending that's not even much of an ending. It's one of those movies that
you forgot about already.
It's a heat wave on the brain.
Yeah.
I pretty much decided to forget everything about it.
Probably to save your sanity. Sounds like
yes.
I mean, the cover art here is just really cheap. It's somebody just did a painting, and I guess they saw the cover art for Alone in the Dark and just ripped it off. Finger painting. They just ripped it off. They're like, well, instead of like an axe, let's give him a hand screw. Yeah, that'll do it. They were young and in love, and he was crazy. She was dead. What kind of tagline is that? So bad.
It's just as good as the movie.
That sounds like bad English. Like this was like translated from some other language. Like they were young and in love. He was crazy. She was dead. English is not my first language. I love the DVD. It's just like see it or die. And you're like, yeah, it sounds like I'd rather choose to die than watch this.
One of those movies is just doesn't really make sense, and horrible, god awful music, and it doesn't even know what the hell it's trying to do, and it's a piece of shit.
Well said. Makes you want to scream.
Deathbed is a better movie.
Deathbed's a better movie. Damn.
I didn't even see Deathbed, but I know it's a better movie.
The next film is Delivery Boys, again with Mario Van Peebles. Like, what is up with Mario Van Peebles?
Oh, wow, he's in this?
Yeah.
3.7. Breakdancing. More breakdancing. A dating the boys under the Brooklyn Bridge are united by their common interest in breakdancing. Some are pizza delivery boys, hence the movie's called Delivery Boys.
Oh my god, there. Now I'm just realizing there were Breakin' ripoffs. Breakin' was a big enough film that people ripped Breakin' off.
Well, also, like, one of the genres is sport. Because I guess breakdancing is a sport.
Yeah, not any sport that I know of. That's for sure.
It's as much of a sport as football?
No.
Basketball? Or baseball?
Nope.
I mean, I didn't know breakdancing was a sport.
It's competition. Doesn't mean it's a sport, though. The tagline is, did you ever wonder why it takes so long to make a delivery? And they just show, like, what looks like a guy, I guess his feet are hanging out, and he's, like, banging some girl in a bed, and then there's just clothes strewn everywhere and a pizza on the ground. I don't know what so you're insinuating that the reason why it takes so long for them to deliver my pizza is because they're fucking somebody? Is that what it is?
It's not a girl. It's another pizza. It's humping another pizza.
It's the prequel to American Pie.
American Pizza Pie. But yeah.
Yeah, they call themselves Delivery Boys, and they go in and break dance under the title Delivery Boys.
They break dance their way to deliver sperm all across the nation.
Speed of girls ties into the next one called Psycho Girls.
Psycho bitches.
Doesn't even have any cover art. That's how bad this is.
Amazon.com released this back in 1985. They were just a small company back then, but a woman breaks out of an insane asylum accompanied by two crazy bitches to kill her sister, who's a crazy bitch. Everyone's a crazy bitch. I don't know what the plot is. I don't care.
Just a bunch of crazy bitches.
So, crazy bitches. Speaking of that, Barbarian Queen by Hector Oliveira with Frank Zedorino.
Didn't that guy also direct another movie on this list?
Yeah. I already forgot what it was, but
it was there was on the first one. I think it was Wizards of the Lost Kingdom.
2 in 1 year. Yeah. Roman Empire, simple villages raided by Roman troops, and most of the people whisked off to be slaves or killed. 3 women survive and set off to save them. Try to be a ripoff of Conan the Barbarian. They arrive at the Roman city. They team up with the local underground. They seek vengeance and liberation of the slaves.
So I guess I'm not going to hear the lamentation of the women.
The cornhole of the men.
No man can touch her naked steel.
Okay, let me ask, are there really that many great Conan ripoffs?
No. Honestly, no. And a lot of them were Roger Corman productions, so yeah, that's why they're really low budget. Poster art, the cover art's cool though. It looks like a Frank Frazetta painting. It's really well done. The poster here that I'm looking at, looking at. The tagline's weird though. No man can touch her naked steel. What the fuck does that mean? Is she hiding something underneath the panties? What the fuck? I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, then this next one is your movie.
Oh, Night Train to Terror.
Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Anthology film.
Everybody's got something to do. Everybody but you.
Anthology film. Mike was a bigger fan of this than I was.
It's not a good movie by any means, any stretch of the imagination. But I had dumb fun with it in like a so bad it's good way, because these were all like anthology segments that were cut from other movies that were either unfinished or were, but they were not very good. And so they just cut scenes out of them and spliced them together in this just crazy, catastrophic mess of a film that I just enjoyed for just how bad it was. and some of the anthology segments I thought were genuinely kind of, or okay, were kind of decent. I mean, in comparison to crap like VHS, I mean, or Creepshow 3, I would definitely take Night Train to Terror over either of those. But, you know, it's just me. I have it on Blu-ray. I even bought it at the horror convention that I was at, and I got a discount on it from the Vinegar Syndrome dealer that was over there. It's technically a heavy metal horror film, but not really. It's more of a rock band. It's like a rock band gives their final performance on a hellbound trip into the outer reaches of horror. The poster also is pretty lazy. It's not a bad artwork. I mean, it's some train tracks that are well.
Has nothing to do with the movie.
But it's just a knife that's stabbed into the train tracks, and the train tracks are bleeding for some reason, or the knife is bleeding. I don't know what's going on. There's a train in the distance. But
they killed the railroad tracks. Yeah, it was just one of those things where, I mean, you were saying it, none of them made sense because they were unfinished, and so none of them I can really get into, because it's just, Richard Mole, and then he just head cut off, or someone Well, it's supposed to be him get his head cut off, and then another where they try killing themselves, and then they kind of, most of them do, because it's some game. And
apparently the film was given an X rating by the MPAA after it was screened for them. The anthology is a compilation of 3 previously released full-length films. The unfinished film Scream Your Head Off, which was later retitled and edited into Marilyn Alive and Behind Bars, as well as The Dark Side to Love and Cataclysm. And a double was apparently used for Richard Mall in many shots of the Harry segment. The double wears the same clothes as Mall and sports the same hairstyle, but the double's arms are very hairy, whereas Mall's arms are smooth. And Ferdy Main sent director J. Schlossberg Cohen a letter admitting he was a little embarrassed by the movie after he saw the final finished version of the film.
Yeah. Someone actually sent me the DVD of this, the Vinegar Syndrome, long ago.
Yeah.
The commentary was good because it's like a bunch of, I don't know if they were fans, but they were talking over the movie. And
yeah.
That was fun. But yeah, the film itself, yeah. I can't condone the movie.
Well, I guess everybody's having fun.
Everybody but me.
Yeah, exactly. Hot Resort is the next one. There's a lot of these teen sex comedies.
Yeah, like Fraternity Vacation, Private Resort, all those movies here. Hot Resort.
And Hot Chili, which came out the same year.
Yes, Bronson Pinchot's actually in this. 3.8. Young guys on the mate get a job at a resort hotel in the Caribbean.
Oh, look, it's canon again. Where anything you want is everything you get.
Right.
Because this is what you want. This is what you get. This is what you want. This is what you get. Hot Resort. John
Hot Fist Fucks.
Yeah. Boaz Davidson wrote the screenplay.
Who's that, Mike?
He helped write the screenplay. Boaz Davidson, who is known for producing and writing a bunch of stuff. Like Expendables 2, London Has Fallen.
He produced those, yeah.
Ninja?
Yeah. He produced those.
Yeah.
No, I thought he was the one who directed Safe with Jason Statham. Might have been another guy. But
as a writer, he's in a lot of stuff for producers. Director. Oh, he did Lunar Cop, aka Solar Force, with Michael Pare. American Cyborg, Steel Warrior. Oh, Salsa, another canon dance movie. Oh, he directed Going Bananas. Yeah, that was a great film. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's done much directing.
Oh, okay, I was thinking of someone else with Boaz.
He did. These movies suck. He's directed.
So, yeah, there's not much I can say about it.
There's another one that's called, there's Ninja Warriors. It's got Ronald L. Marcini. Is that the Karate Cop guy? I think that's who it is. Ronald L. Marcini, like the guy who was like kicking people in the balls. Yeah, it is.
And on a quick note for folks that I was thinking Boaz Yakin was safe, but this, I think actually the Red Letter Media guys long ago did a ninja episode, and this was one of them.
Ken Watanabe's also in this apparently. The cover art's pretty cool. But there's no way the movie is that good. But it is kind of weird, though, with this guy in fire here on the left. It's like, what the fuck is that? Is he floating in the air and then he's on fire?
He's not in the movie.
Why is he bent over like that? Well, I guess he's in pain. I don't know. It looks like he was in the middle of a seizure and then he got lit on fire. You never know where they come from. You never know where they go, but they're always there. Always one step ahead.
G.I. Joe?
G.I. Joe!
Document stealing killer super ninjas are up to no good.
Ha!
A more robust and secure records management system could have discouraged such behavior. That's the plot on IMDb that made fun of itself.
That's hilarious. Hmm.
The next one is a movie that I heard Cynthia Rothrock is barely even in, even though she's on the cover. It's called 24 Hours to Midnight. 3 point, one of those films that says the stars are, but she's there for like a couple minutes.
Oh, so it's like Slaughter in San Francisco.
Yeah, I think so. Kind of like that, yeah.
With
that or they took
her. She must
that or they took that or they might have stolen footage from another movie and put it in.
Yeah.
Leo Fong.
Yeah, Fong.
You got the guy from the next one, Dukes of Hazzard, John Schneider, and Cocaine Wars.
Cocaine Wars. I bought that in VHS recently for like 50 cents.
By his third movie, Hector Oliveira.
Oh my god. The trifecta.
I've seen this once. I didn't think much of it. Pretty much if you watch the trailer, you've seen the movie.
Because I sent it to you, I think. That's why.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I mean,
I apologize.
No, it's fine. Hey, I like the trailer, but it's one of those, if you've seen the trailer, if you hated it, well, there's nothing else in the movie you'll like. If you like it, you've seen everything in the trailer.
And this poster art is misleading. John Schneider is not that ripped.
Yeah, they're trying to do Rambo. Miami DEA agent Cliff Adams is in South America working undercover for the biggest cocaine exporter in South America. His fiancée is a reporter doing the story, and then he gets involved in cocaine wars.
Cocaine.
Cocaine. The people who made it were in the middle of a cocaine war. Up their nose. Left part of their nose versus the right part of their nose. Which one's going to suck up more cocaine? Cocaine.
I was imagining a war where somebody's just throwing cocaine at each other. Like in that...
They put it in a ball and they put it in like one of those Nerf guns or water pistols. So it just sprays out powder everywhere.
Yeah, I remember the Mad TV skit where they did a Three Stooges parody. And it was like, what if it was like a black gangster Three Stooges and they're all like throwing cocaine everywhere at each other in some slapstick scene. That's the real cocaine wars.
The next one, not much to say. Someone called Countermeasures, just a 3.8. Guy from a little picture looks like Michael Caine, but it's not.
This looks like a 70s film that was released in the 80s.
Yeah. Next up is a fun movie.
Yeah.
The Adventures of Hercules, aka Hercules 2.
This one, it grew on me. Originally, I was like, this is shit, but then later on, I was just like, this is fun shit, though. Like, it's bad, but...
Hercules and the bad guy fight in the stars, and they repeat the ending of the first one, only they put it in the stars, and they're turned to like a dragon or a bear.
No, it's a T-Rex.
Yeah, T-Rex and a Transformer, and... Not really Transformer, but it is a T-Rex.
It's like a T-Rex versus some other thing. It's like a bear or something.
Like a snake or...
Yeah.
No, it's like King Kong versus a T-Rex.
Yeah, it's King Kong versus a T-Rex.
Made of stars.
And they fight each other, and then they turn into stars at the end. The star constellations at the end of the movie.
And it's just Lou Ferrigno dubbed fighting creatures to get these 7 thunderbolts. Yeah. And then, like, he grows so big, he pushes the earth, and... becomes stars and fights the bad guy, which they just do the
first one where he grew so big, or was this?
He grew so big to move mountains.
Oh yeah.
But here it's now so big he moves the whole earth. He pushes the whole earth away from something. No, it's like an earth and something's going to hit earth, and he like pushes them away from each other.
Yeah. I think it was filmed around the same time as the first one. So Hercules. Dun, 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 dun.
The ones that look like the stars are made of jewels. Jewel of the Nile.
The man with supernatural strength returns to battle the forces of evil. The Adventures of Hercules.
For some reason, they just say Hercules 2.
Well, they did on one of the posters, but I guess they didn't go with that. They said The Adventures of Hercules 2. Lou Ferrigno is actually my favorite Hercules. I have to be honest. That's just my personal opinion. And the same director who directed the first one, I think, directed those.
Yeah, Luigi Cozzi. My favorite's the TV show Hercules, but I got into that more.
Yeah, I didn't grow up with that, so...
I grew up with it. But the next one, The Dark Power...
Last LaRue!
Have you seen this?
No, I have it on DVD, though.
What made you get the DVD?
It was cheap, and I guess I thought it was rare, but no, it isn't. But hey, it is what it is. The spirits of dead Indians are haunting a couple's house, and they call in an exorcist whose trademark is a black whip to get rid of them. That's another reason why I got it, because I saw the trailer and I laughed my ass off. So I was like, "Is an exorcist and he whips the demons? What the fuck?"
You don't have sex with the demons?
Does it turn into S&M?
The cover is...
Yeah, she's scared.
She's bit-tittied.
Scared of the demons. I think they want to...
Rape.
Yeah, definitely.
Gangbang.
That's the title. Instead of Dark Power, Gangbang. Oh, man. Haven't seen it, but... Yeah, I guess they're spirits of dead Indians that are haunting a couple's house, and they call in the exorcist, Last LaRue.
I'll await my review.
To whip them. Whip them good.
Warriors of the Apocalypse 3.9. It's a nuclear war. It wipes everyone out. And a guy leads a bunch of wanderers on a search for the Mountain of Life. And they face pygmy tribes and bands of other shits. And... directed by Bobby A. Suarez, and...
It's also known as Searchers of the Voodoo Mountain. Some pretty cool cover art here with these scraggly-looking guys in a post-apocalyptic wasteland and some, guy with a beard shooting lasers out of his eyes.
Sounds great.
If it was like that, really. I doubt it. I doubt the actual movie is that awesome. But then the VHS has some weird snake guy in the middle of it sticking his tongue out.
Yeah. Anyway, the next one, you've seen this movie.
Yeah, Blood Tracks. Blood Tracks is a film that I thought it was okay. I mean, it wasn't a great movie, but it was kind of fun. I mean, it had some decent songs. The soundtrack I thought was pretty good. It's kind of a heavy metal horror film. Definitely one of the better heavy metal horror films I've seen. Used its locations well, and it's been a while since I've seen it, but I don't remember it being awful. I don't think it's that bad. 3.9 anyway. A film crew producing a rock music video decides to shoot at an abandoned factory outside the snow line. When an avalanche strands them, a murderous family living in the factory attacks and kills many of them. It's a low-budget Swedish horror movie.
All right, then.
And it features the band Easy Action, who also play the band in the film. And I think their songs are actually pretty good. So, the band members of Easy Action who play the band in the film, they had never acted before, and to overcome their stage fright, Mats Helge Olsen fed them copious amounts of beer, the director. The band and several of the crew members then made the film while they were drunk. Hey, for a film that's made while they're drunk, not that bad. So,
well, I'm sold. But that's Blood Tracks. Not that long of a movie, seems.
No, definitely not.
The next one, Miami Golem.
I think it's known as Miami Nightmare or something, or Miami Horror. I saw this. I got this confused with Miami Connection. Because like for many years, because I saw this at the flea market when I was living with my dad in Oklahoma City, and I turned it down. And so for many years, now that I'm looking at this cover art, I'm like, that's the one. It wasn't Miami Connection, so I'm like, okay, all right. I didn't turn down Miami Connection. I turned down Miami Horror, which seems like they reused the alien from Alien Predators. Unborn, undead, an alien force they could not control.
A Miami TV reporter is sent to a local university to do a story on a professor who is cloning a cell from DNA found inside a meteorite. Soon after the reporter leaves, a gunman kills everyone in the professor's lab and steals the cell for a wealthy businessman. When the reporter learns that he's targeted for assassination, he enlists the help of two scientists to discover who's behind the crimes, why they stole the cell, and whether or not the cell should be allowed to continue living.
I don't give a shit. That's what it sounds like, a plot you don't give a shit about.
Well, what does that have to do with a golem?
Yeah, I don't know. I know David Warbeck is in it, though, who was in... he was in The Beyond, I believe.
Ah, right, yeah. A lot of very low-budget films. But after that, you have a film called Deadly Passion. A guy named Brent Huff. Must have been huffing a lot of shit to star in movies like this.
Well, I mean, look at the cover art.
His name is Sam Black. His half-brother is Andrew Black. And they go to Bahamas to assist Abigail Marks.
What are they, Shane Black's brothers or something? This cover art is hilarious. It's bad. It looks like it's drawn in crayon. And then they have this Deadly Passion titles, and they don't fit the cover art. It looks like a softcore erotic thriller. Because they have like a heart that has a bullet hole through it. And then there's this guy who looks like he's challenged.
Coming in his pants.
Or he's coming in his pants. That's the Deadly Passion.
That's the passion. It's coming in his pants.
And then the explosion in the background.
That's his, yeah. That's the result of his orgasm.
He loves his guns so much. He just fires off his gun, and then he fires off his other gun at the same time.
Yeah.
That would
shooting bullets and shooting blanks.
Because that would be a really big problem. Like, if that's your thing, and you shoot every time you shoot a gun, it's just, just orgasm every time.
Boom.
Oh, man.
The next couple I'll skip because there's nothing to say. Da Capo, some biography about violinist. Experienced movers. Nothing even really about it. Looks like a black and white movie or something.
You have Screwballs 2, which is a sequel to Screwballs.
Which I never even saw, so I didn't know there was a sequel.
I know, it sounds like it's just Porky's.
I'm sure that's what it's supposed to be, yeah.
In the
Horny teens
try
to get a shot at the sexy new French teacher.
Yeah, they're like in the original tradition of Screwballs. Like, there's a tradition for Screwballs.
I guess.
Directed by Rafal Zelinsky. Oh, the guy who directed Last Resort. Oh, he directed Fun. That was actually a pretty good movie. I thought that is crazy. That guy,
I haven't seen that.
That guy directed that. Wow. That's hard to believe. Brian Genesi is in it, and he's been in other things. He was a villain in one of those Gary Daniels movies I saw. I think it was the Western one, Cold Harvest, yeah.
But we'll do one or two more because that way the video isn't too long. It's about an hour or so.
And we think we'd stop after 4.0 anyway. And the last two are pretty kind of infamous.
Fever Pitch, directed by Richard Brooks, starring Ryan O'Neal, Catherine Hicks, who would be in Child's Play. A journalist gets hooked on the subject of his inquiry, professional gambling. I haven't seen this.
I have it on VHS, and it's in the Razzie Movie Guides Awards book. It's particularly infamous, apparently, for being a really terrible film. Being so bad, it might have killed Ryan O'Neal's career. I never thought he was that great of an actor to begin with. So, fine with me. It's about an investigative sports journalist, veteran Steve Taggart. He's working on his latest story, an inside look at professional gambling. The subject of his piece is the man he calls Mr. Green, a degenerate gambler who indirectly ruined his family and yet still cannot stop gambling or betting. And yeah, I'm not going to read the rest of it because it just sounds just too much.
It's the last film the director made too. Same director who did the film Blackboard Jungle from back in the day. Among others.
The film was originally supposed to be produced by Dino De Laurentiis under the name of The Fever. And I guess Sam Shepard was originally considered for the role of Steve Taggart, but it went to Ryan O'Neal. And during filming, the director reportedly punched actor Rafael Campos in the stomach due to getting a take wrong.
Well, the next one, that's a hell of a way to end on the next one. Sorry, Effrey.
Yeah, sorry. This movie sucks.
Future Kill. The stars of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Edwin Neal and Marilyn Burns, return in the story about frat boys lost in the big city while hunted by a fuckstick. And as a lead gang of gun-happy idiots. And his stomach hanging out so you can have a toy pitchfork stab him at the end.
Yeah, I mean, the guy, he's got all his armor on, and he's supposed to be like this radiation-powered mutant. And he fucking doesn't even cover up his stomach. Also, there's
on its dick. Just check out my friend Mike's review to know what I'm laughing about. I think it was some like dildo or some toy or something, but just Mike's reaction. It's a dick on a stick.
It's true. That's exactly what it was.
And
then the ridiculous amounts of slow-mo in the movie. There's a scene near the end where like somebody's like one of the frat boys is like beating up on one of the gang members of the leader of the gang, played by Edwin O'Neal, who looks really bad. It's like some really shitty cosplay or homemade costume for Halloween.
And it's one of those scenes where they're in cat and mouse, like the same hallway over and over again, but they change like a little bit of the lighting.
Yeah, they just change. Oh, it's green now, or it's pink,
purple or something.
And then the slow mo. He's just
off.
Yeah, that one. But the slow mo, it's like he's like hitting this guy like in slow motion. He's stabbing him, but the slow mo is so slow that I'm like, okay. I'm like, I guess you needed this scene to be slowed down so you can make it an hour and 29 minutes. This is clearly just padding. And then after the end credits, it's supposed to be some kind of sequel bait thing, and Edwin O'Neal is like talking about, I'll be back, and then he coughs at the end. Oh shit. That sums it up perfectly, because the ending is just splatters, just all like.
And the best part is the cover, which I guess is a couple of different stories. Edwin Neal, who spent the 80s traveling to conventions selling movie memorabilia, always claimed that he was the one responsible for getting H.R. Dieter involved. However, in H.R. Dieter's book, Necronomicon 2, Dieter says that director Ronald W. Moore was with whom he dealt. Dieter goes on to say he felt manipulated by the director, who told him in tears that the film would lose his financing without the H.R. Dieter poster. Whatever the case, the original art did eventually end up in Neal's possession, along with numerous some of the prints and portfolios by Dieter, lending credence to Edwin Neal's claim of involvement. Either way, they got H.R. Dieter to do this poster, which none of it's in the movie.
No, it's a great poster. I love the poster. But
someone should remake that poster into a movie.
Yeah. Do that.
It's a split second.
Yeah, instead of this bullshit where your lead bad guy is coughing at the end.
And wait, it is a split second monster.
Yeah. Oh, and they have a Xerox song. Xerox. Xerox. Yeah, a punk song called Xerox. The film was given an X rating for extreme violence. I don't know why. When it was first submitted to the MPA, one slight edit had to be made to a single scene so the movie could secure an R rating.
Yeah, it was shot in Austin, Texas.
Without any permits.
Yeah, I think it's a terrible movie. It's a boring movie.
So
There's
do
not
I.
one likable character. There's not one
I like this
piece
guy's
of lore.
on IMDb. He's like a death trap with Giger as bait. Couldn't sum it up any better myself.
But anyway, didn't want this to go on too long,
No.
so I want to thank everyone for joining my friend Mike and I on a trip down the IMDb file lane for the year 1985.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mike, for joining.
Thank you for inviting me, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Have a good day.
See ya.